Hi there and everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is the second part of I build up my chassis parts, and as you can see, this is a 6x4 configuration that is meant to be used under the Esagamma E cab I produced in racing. This is 2024 production of a very heavy truck we had in Italy in the 60s, and this is its chassis modified to be a tractor version, so the semi version that was used basically in the production of cement and marmor and heavy movement in general, as metal or timber trucks and so on. And the vehicle is completely painted now. And remember that this type of trucks nearly never use the configuration like the Fuller V8 had. Just I think the Fiat 170 NT35 was the first Italian vehicle featuring the V8 with the Fuller engine, with the Fuller gear shifter. Instead, all the others are the ordinary 6-cylinder. This is a 6-cylinder coming from a mech, an AMT mechanical mech. If you've seen the first video, this was basically an AMT truck. I think it was a white truck, and the 6-cylinder with the separated gear shifter and the double Hendrickson suspension. The rear suspension of the Italian vehicles after the Second World War was completely influenced by the Marshall Plan of Phelps that the Americans give to Italy for the reconstruction of the country. Inside this contract that we had with the Americans, it was written that Italians could not develop the technologies they had coming from the Second World War, so the Lancia company was already producing the 3RO was the name of the truck, was the heavy truck we used during the Second World War, also with guns over, with the, we call it autocannone, that means that the auto with the gun over, used in Africa during the Second World War, but all that mechanical part cannot be used by Fiat and from Lancia because of the agreement after the Second World War. So what you will find inside the truck, like the Esagamma E, the Fiat 697, the 300, unless the 330 they became a much more modern truck of the 80s. It was basically an Hendrickson suspension plus the Rockwell bridge, the Rockwell differential for the transmission under the rear axle for the very heavy configuration like this one was, So it was, if you can see, that was exactly the spring suspension schema from Hendrickson, exactly the same one used on the American trucks of the 50s and the 60s, the same identical system. The only difference was that quite often also the old Peterbilt used to have the air suspension, correct me if I'm wrong, and instead the Italian version just had the spring suspension, the spring one, with the cans for the air brake systems, and the drums, of course, they were 4 big drums all over the axle, The final configuration is this. I think is extremely convincing, The painting is made using acrylic colors and Winsor & Newton gloss. That's me fishing, don't look at me. And Winsor & Newton color plus Gunze Sangyo color. And then I use the MIG pigments or the artist gypsums, the artist calcs for this works. Usually I use a combination of earth and raw amber, to finish it, and then you completely give it a flattening color over everything, so everything will be completely in the same unique final appeal of the work. I hope you can understand what I mean, but probably yes. What is extremely interesting, in my opinion, is to see the wheels. These are the famous 3D wheels that I'm finally using, because I just produced them, but I never build up a model right now using my wheels. I wanted to build up this as a gamma, and sooner I will produce a Fiat 690T with the same wheels. And it's extremely nice because, as you can see, you can clearly read the Michelin X pattern tire over a 3-legs wheel, you see. The standard metal sprocket wheel we use it on these trucks. You can see much better on the front one, as you can see, 12.00 extra. This is completely Michelin X pattern. It's completely made in 3D by KMP company. His friend Andrea working for us, and he make excellent work under our specifications, so I think it's extremely realistic on this type of vehicles. And that's it. This is the second part on how we build up them, all the final piping. I also had the crane down there external to the cab, These vehicles had a lot of custom modification, to be really working machines. They were not a traveler, they were not a sleeper truck, they were just working machines, so they were modified time by time for the specific destination of the final usage. And that's it. I think it's extremely convincing. I hope you like it, like I do, and see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.